Welcome back to the channel, guys. As promised, a more in-depth look at my X Wing miniatures collection and thoughts on the way the game has been treated both by Fantasy Flight and AMG, and where I think the future, or what the future holds for both Armada and X Wing. But we're concentrating on X Wing at the moment. So if we start at the beginning, let's get rid of that. We have our two first edition boxes, both flavours, the original and the set they brought out when the Force Awakens movie came out. Both first edition, so compatible with each other. Nothing much really more to say about those, but they are the two first edition starter sets that are available. These are still available now online for around £30. I've seen plenty of these, so you can still get these at a reasonable RRP. So there we go with our two original starter sets. This obviously now is everything I got for first edition, which is pretty much most of everything that they came out with. Nothing much to say really about these. These are the large boxes. So we have both editions, TIE Silencer, Upsilon, Resistance Bomber, and Heroes of the Resistance for the sequel movies. Two boxes of Most Wanted, because these were actually the starter sets for Scum and Villainy really. In first edition, Scum and Villainy are my favourite faction to play. Bosk's Houndstooth there. That's the stuff for Scum and Villainy. Slave 1, Boba Fett ship, although it's got Imperial on there. The cards for Scum and Villainy version for Boba Fett comes in the Most Wanted pack. Guns for Hire, the Star Viper and the Kieraz with the Black Sun Syndicate paint scheme, all pretty good. IG-88 ship, the IG-2000, and at the bottom there we have the, I forgot what this one's called, the Shadowcaster, again for Scum and Villainy. So that's those. Punishing 1, Dengar ship. We all remember the controversy over this in first edition and how it was overpowered and it had to be nerfed considerably. And that, I think, is pretty much everything for Scum and Villainy in the large boxes. Move on to the Empire. VT-49 Decimator. And yes, I do have two of them for the double Decimator build, which again, those of you who have been playing since first edition will know it's pretty nasty. I did like the double Decimator build in first edition. Imperial Aces with the alternative paint jobs for the TIE Interceptors. Imperial Veterans with another bomber and Countess Riyadh's TIE Defender. Lambda Shuttle, one of the coolest miniatures because it has movable wings. TIE Reaper, there we go with that. think that's pretty much most of the Empire's larger boxes. Onto the Rebels, the larger box, the normal U-Wing there at the bottom, Swords Renegades, the alternative paint job U-Wing and X Wing, which also comes with the components for 2nd edition as well as 1st edition in the box. That's those. Rebel Aces, alternate paint jobs for the B-Wing and the A-Wing. The Millennium Falcon. Dash Rendar's YT-2400. And the Ghost with Phantom 1 at the bottom there. Those of you who are a big fan of the Rebels series, all your characters for that come in that set. Hera, Kanan, Ezra, Sabine, etc, etc, etc. So that's more or less the big boxes for 1st edition. Onto the epic ships and the smaller boxes. Now, I'm not going to get all these out because I'll be here all day. What I will do is point out a few of the more interesting pieces I have. There's the Tantive or Tantive 4 Carolean cruiser, along with the GR75 there, the Rebel transport that comes with an extra X-Wing. These are my individual packs of the Scum and Villainy. As you can see, have converted and re-glued the Starfighter in the wings folded down mode, which is why it doesn't quite fit in the package anymore, but that's a little conversion I did for that. 4 Protectorate Starfighters. Now, given the fact that I have 4 Protectorate Starfighters, you probably know from that I am a massive Mandalorian fan when it comes to Star Wars. Again, all the Scum and Villainy individual boxes, and my Sea Rock is at the bottom there. You can just make it out. The Sea Rock comes with an additional M3 Interceptor, same paint job as that one. So that is the Scum and Villainy section. The Rebellion, as I say, each individual pack I bought at least one of. One T-70 X-Wing for the sequels, 2 Special Forces ties, 1 TIE FO for the First Order. Empire, again, point out a few interesting packs that I have. Yes, I have 2 Alpha Class Star Wings, and no, I'm not selling them. So, because they're rarer than rocking horse poo at the minute. 1 TIE Phantom again, obviously highly sought after ship, and the TIE Aggressor, again highly sought after. And I don't know if you can make out, there is my Gazanti large ship underneath. Just show you that. There we go. That comes with 2 additional TIE fighters. As you can see there, the Gazanti flight carrier, and underneath that we have our Raider with another TIE Advanced. So that is everything I own from 1st edition. Moving on, Oh, obviously as well, I have the Arc 170 from first edition, but I'm using that now in my era, the Republic Clone Wars era, because I've got the Arc 170 for that version, and that is actually the Rebel version. You can use these in Rebel fleets as well, but I'm using it predominantly for the Republic and Separatist Clone Wars era. In this box, while we're here, laser line, vital for playing X Wing and Armada. In here we have our Separatists and Republic. Again, very difficult to get older ships for those. I have 2 boxes of the Guardians of the Republic starter set and 1 of the Servants of Strife for the Separatists. I've just found Jango Fett's Slave 1 on Amazon, brand new in its box, on its way, probably get here today, maybe, we'll see. So that's those. Moving on now to version 2 and 2.5. Version 2, starter set, same as the original version 1. 2 TIE Fighters and an X Wing from the original trilogy. And then we have our conversion kits. Because I had so much from version 1 of the game, I had to buy the conversion packs for all of the factions that were out at the time. There's no conversion packs for the Clone Wars era because they never came out in version 1. So we have the Galactic Empire conversion kit, the Rebel Alliance conversion kit, Scum and Villainy conversion kit, Resistance and First Order conversion kits, which allows me to play all my first edition stuff in second. Bear that in mind, these are incredibly difficult to get hold of now these days. The carrier bag at the bottom there is everything printed out for the Heroes of the Atori cluster. Those of you that know about that, I do have that in the bag. If I wanted to play that at any time, that's all in there. Star Wars Epic Battles X-Wing. This allows you not necessarily to use the bigger ships. Oh, that's another thing. I still can't find a copy of the large ship conversion kit. I found one on eBay, but it was such a ridiculous price. I'm not going to pay that for it. Not that I played the large ships very often anyway. But this Epic Battles thing is more like you can fly your ships in squadron formations. Which again is a new way to play the game. So that's those. Again, another TIE Fighter for 2nd edition. Our 2nd edition squadron packs for the Rebels. Phoenix Cell. 2 alternative paint job A-wings and an alternative B-wing paint job. Same with the Empire, the Sky Strike Academy. 2 TIE Interceptors and a TIE Defender, again alternative paint jobs. And then we move into the individual packs. Lando's Millennium Falcon. Actually 2 ships, the Millennium Falcon itself and the escape craft that comes with it, which we saw in Solo when he did the Castle Run. I'll show you this box in a minute because this has got a few things in. Gauntlet Fighter. Me being a Mandalorian freak, got to have a Gauntlet Fighter. And our Fugitives and Collaborators Squadron Pack for the Scum and Villainy. Again, alternative paint jobs for 2 Y-Wings and a Hawk 290. All the cards in there. So that's those. First Order Squadron Pack. It's the 2 bombers and the interceptor versions for the First Order. Some extra Special Forces and First Order ties for those. Again, just for the different cards that come in it. That's those. Resistance. Again. Y-Wings. The RZ2 A-Wing. And the Heralds of Hope starter box. Again, alternative art T70s and the RZ2 A-Wing alternative art paint job, again with additional cards. So that's those. Gotta have the Razor Crest, guys. I'm sorry. Din Djarin, coolest character ever from Star Wars. I don't care what anybody says. The best thing to happen in Star Wars since the original trilogy in Rogue One. Mandalorian, probably my favourite of the Star Wars IP. Cracking series. Really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Made me fall in love with Star Wars again after the prequel and sequel debacles. Some of you may disagree, but I'm sorry, those 6 movies are absolute garbage. I watched them, just not Star Wars to me. But that's my own personal opinion. Your mileage may vary. Rogue Class Starfighter, the missing one is already in my Separatist set. But this one here is the green painted version. Is Cad Baines, who slots nicely into my Scum and Villainy set. And finally we have our additional card packs here. The Siege of Coruscant. I bought this because it has the pre-loadouts for more options for the Clone Wars era, because I don't have much Clone Wars era stuff at all. So I thought I'd get that for the extra cards and obviously the scenario to play should I wish to. Hot Shots and Aces 1 and 2. Just again, different ship cards. Gives me more variety. Version 2 and 2.5. That's those. Never tell me the odds. Again, just more asteroids, gas clouds, etc, etc. Fully loaded. More bombs, bomb packs, that sort of thing. And for some reason, I bought 2 Pride of Mandalores. Why? I don't know. Maybe I bought one by mistake, thinking I didn't have it, and I already did. But anyway, I've got 2 Pride of Mandalores. Probably don't need 2. I may give one away as a prize on the channel at some point. There we go for the card packs. And in here we have our Dials version 2 for the TIE Reaper. TIE Mining Guild. Again for Scum and Villainy. I've got 1 pack and 1 model just on its own from eBay, just to round out my Scum and Villainy faction. 2 TIE Strikers in here with all the relevant cards and cardboard. Again, I'm going to be sorting out all my collection and putting them into proper carry cases eventually. So got a lot of sorting out to do for my X-Wing stuff in the near future. May do a video once I've got everything packed away and sorted and put into proper carry cases for each faction. I may do another video on that showing you what I've done. And finally, in here we have our TIE Heavy. Again, managed to get a copy of this off eBay. Just show you the model. It's a lot bigger TIE with a bigger cannon on the side. So there is my TIE Heavy. So that's my entire collection, guys. Just put all this away. I'll get on to my thoughts regarding the state of Armada and X-Wing as it is today, being towards the end of April 2025. We've had our last official tournament from AMG at Adepticon, so now I feel confident enough to tell you my thoughts on why I believe the game was finished, and my thoughts on what went wrong, why it went wrong from the beginning. So initially, Fantasy Flight first edition, I feel it brought out releases too quickly. It seemed every month there was a new wave. I can understand collectors and players wanting to have new stuff constantly, but if they perhaps spaced it out a little bit, instead of new stuff coming out every month, every couple or 3 months maybe, would have been better. It would allow the game to develop more, give it more time. Version 2, again, nothing wrong with version 2 other than the expense. If you'd invested a lot of money like I did in version 1, it did become quite expensive to collect the conversion kits. But again, it was a necessity. I can understand the way that why they did it like this. It's just all your cards, dials and everything for version 2. Probably the cheapest way they could have given it to the customer without you having to buy all the same ships again. So probably the easiest way they could have done it. But those of us who collected a ton from first edition, I almost spent the same amount of gain on conversion kits that I already had for all my first edition stuff. But again, I can understand why they did it that way, and the cheapest way they could have done it. Moving on now to AMG. Now we'll put it straight off the bat. Not a fan of AMG now, what they did to the game. But there's no point moaning about it. What's done is done. You can blame AMG for things. Well, Fantasy Flight got a lot of things wrong as well. You've got to remember, back in 2015, Star Wars X Wing Miniatures First Edition was the best-selling miniatures game on the planet. It outsold Warhammer 40,000. So it was a great game. People were collecting it. So just to bear that in mind. Version 2.5. 2 starter sets. Galactic Empire. Rebel Alliance. The good thing about 2.5, this is one of the good things that AMG did do. It's all completely compatible with version 2. The cards, the dials, the tokens, blah 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 blah. Everything good there. No need to buy new conversion kits. So they did try and cut costs that way, so it wasn't too expensive for the consumer. The way AMG announced the death of Armada, well, I hate this term death for games. Games never die. They're just getting stopped produced and supported. I still play Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th edition, Warhammer 40k 3rd edition. If I've got the rules and the models and someone to play with, the game's not dead. Take, for example, More Time. More Time stopped being produced over 20 years ago. There's more players playing More Time now than there were when it was available. So no game ever dies. People will say, oh, this game's dead. You don't know what you're talking about. No game ever dies. It just gets stopped being supported and produced. I hate the term death of a game. I don't use it myself. So, on to version 2.5. The way AMG announced the finishing of it, particularly with Armada, we're unfortunately no longer producing or developing the game. Well, he didn't do anything for Armada, AMG. I'm sorry. You produced 2 PDFs amounting to 16 cards that you had to print off yourself. That's the only thing AMG did for Armada. And when it comes to X Wing, they brought out half a new rulebook, just repackaged, reboxed existing models. Again, they didn't do anything new really for X Wing either. Why? Well, my opinion is they didn't want the games to begin with. They weren't their games. Fantasy Flight games taken over to AMG by Asmodee. I actually blame Asmodee more than AMG for the death of the game, or the non-producing of the game anymore. They should have left it with Fantasy Flight as far as I'm concerned. So again, there's no point whinging and moaning about it. It is what it is. As you can see, with everything I have for X-Wing, you can understand my anger when it got stopped being developed and produced. But I've had nearly a year now to sort my thoughts out. And to be honest, ironically, I think X Wing and Armada, with the online communities, are in a far better state now than when AMG had them. Special shout outs to the X Wing Alliance, who seem to be pushing forward with their version of the game now, with constant new updates, rules, cards. They just come out, I think, was it last week, with a whole new bunch of 140 odd cards that you can print out online for your games. As I say, X Wing and Armada are by no means dead. They're going from strength to strength now that we're not limited by licensing issues from AMG or Fantasy Flight for that matter. Same with Armada. There are online communities for Armada who are continually bringing out new stuff, new cards, etc, etc. So I actually think the games of Armada and X Wing are in a far better state now than they have been for a long time. Long may it continue. Special shout outs to X Wing Alliance, Gold Squadron, Ion Radio, Out of Art Gaming, Casual Dad Games. I'm missing others out, I know I am. The community is keeping this game going, and I think it's going to be going for a long, long time. There's a lot of good communities out there, guys. If you want to get into X-Wing and people say, no, it's dead, don't bother, don't listen to them. Go online, do your research, check out all the different people, the community that are keeping the game going and keeping it in such a good state. Finally, a very special shout out to Hairy Nick, down there in Convict Land, also known as Australia. It's an Australia-England thing, don't worry, it's a friendly band. Nothing malicious meant on my part. But Nick's had a lot of personal problems lately. He's just getting over them, and he's just recently started producing videos again on X Wing. Most of my knowledge of X Wing came from Nick, so I want to give him a special shout out. Those of you that are in the community probably know him. Those of you that aren't, go over, subscribe to his channel. He's really good. He goes into in-depth from all the different editions. Nick, one of the best. Keep it up, mate, and I will be continually watching you as well. So that's about it from me. Nothing much else to say other than X Wing, Armada, they ain't dead. They're in a much stronger position than they have been for a long time. If you're a big Star Wars fan and you haven't got into either game, I would suggest having a look. So thank you guys for listening, and hopefully I'll do another update video on my X-Wing stuff. As I say, I've got Jango Fett's fire spray coming. I've also ordered another 2 Boba Fett's fire sprays, which I'm going to repaint as Emon Ezamine's Andrasta and Kath Scarlet's version of the Slave One. I'm going to repaint those, and I'll do a video on those as well in the very near future. So once again, guys, thank you for listening. I've tried not to do this on my previous videos, but I feel as though I'm not reaching enough people as I should. So please do like, subscribe, comment, and what's the thing where you share with other people. Need the channel to grow, and because I do love doing the channel, helping people out. So please do get it out there to as many people as you can. Give me comments on how you think the channel could be improved, what you would like to see. Just let me know and I'll do it. So thank you guys once again for listening. Armada and X-Wing, far from dead. Lots of good communities doing the do. So thank you guys for listening, and may the force be with you, all that kind of stuff, and we'll catch you in the next video.